What if I told you that New York City just experienced 2 earthquakes in 4 days? You might think, earthquakes? In New York? Yes. And it might be the start of something bigger. On August 5th, a 2.7 magnitude earthquake hit New Jersey. Just days earlier, another tremor rattled the same region. Minor? Maybe. But here's what makes this unsettling. The East Coast is crisscrossed with ancient fault lines, including one that runs terrifyingly close to NYC. Today, we dig beneath the surface, literally, to uncover what these quakes mean, how earthquakes actually form, and whether New York City could face a catastrophic quake in our lifetime. Because this isn't just a science lesson. It's a wake-up call. At 1:45 a.m. on August 5th, residents of Hillsdale, New Jersey, felt the ground shake. It was brief, but strong enough to be noticed as far as New York City and Connecticut. Just 4 days earlier, another small quake had struck nearby. No major damage. No injuries. But when 2 quakes hit the same region in less than a week, geologists take note. These weren't isolated incidents. They may be signs of tectonic stress building beneath one of the most densely populated regions in the world. And the likely culprit? The Ramapo Fault Zone, an ancient, silent fracture that might not stay silent for much longer. At 1:45 a.m. on August 5th, residents of Hillsdale, New Jersey, felt the ground shake. It was brief, but strong enough to be noticed as far as New York City and Connecticut. Just 4 days earlier, another small quake had struck nearby. No major damage. No injuries. But when 2 quakes hit the same region in less than a week, geologists take note. These weren't isolated incidents. They may be signs of tectonic stress building beneath one of the most densely populated regions in the world. And the likely culprit? The Ramapo Fault Zone, an ancient, silent fracture that might not stay silent for much longer. To understand the danger, we need to understand the basics. The Earth's crust is divided into massive sections called tectonic plates. These plates float on molten rock and move slowly over time. Sometimes they collide. Sometimes they grind past each other. Sometimes they pull apart. When the stress between them becomes too great, the crust snaps, releasing energy in the form of seismic waves. That's what we feel as an earthquake. But here's the twist: not all earthquakes happen on active plate boundaries. Some occur on ancient faults, relics of past tectonic activity, like the Ramapo Fault. And these ancient faults are unpredictable. The Ramapo Fault stretches over 180 miles through New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. It's not a household name like the San Andreas, but it should be. It was formed over 200 million years ago when the supercontinent Pangaea broke apart. Since then, it's remained mostly quiet. But quiet doesn't mean inactive. Geologists warn that the fault could produce a quake of magnitude 6 or higher. And because the bedrock on the East Coast is older and denser than on the West Coast, seismic energy travels farther. A 5.0 quake here could be felt over 100 miles away. That means even a moderate earthquake could do massive damage in NYC. Let's look at history. In 1884, a 5.5 magnitude quake shook Brooklyn and Manhattan. Chimneys crumbled. Buildings cracked. In 2011, a 5.8 quake in Virginia was felt as far north as New York. It cracked the Washington Monument. And way back in 1811, the New Madrid earthquakes in Missouri were so powerful they made the Mississippi River flow backward. These weren't just flukes. They were reminders. The East Coast is not immune. And when it does shake, it does so with surprising strength. Here's the chilling part: New York City isn't ready. Most buildings in NYC weren't constructed with earthquakes in mind. Unlike California, building codes here don't require quake-resistant design. A magnitude 6 quake could cause building collapses in older neighborhoods, gas line explosions, widespread power outages, panic in a city of 8 million people, and since seismic waves travel faster and farther on the East Coast, the damage radius would be enormous. This isn't a sci-fi scenario. It's a documented risk. Unfortunately, no one can predict earthquakes with certainty. We can track tremors. We can map fault lines. We can model probabilities. But we can't say, the next big one will strike on Tuesday at 3:15 p.m. The best we can do is prepare, reinforce infrastructure, educate the public, install early warning systems. Some countries like Japan have these alerts in place. New York? Not yet. The recent tremors may seem small. But they matter. Because they tell us the Earth is shifting. In geology, A 2.7 quake is like a whisper. But whispers can turn into shouts. These quakes could be foreshocks to a larger event. Or they could be isolated. We don't know. But we do know this: New York City sits on more risk than we talk about. And every small quake is a reminder that the ground we walk on isn't as stable as we think. The city that never sleeps just got a wake-up call. 2 quakes in 1 week. An ancient fault line. Millions of unprepared people. You might not feel the ground shift every day. But beneath our streets, our towers, our tunnels, the earth remembers. Stress is building. Cracks are forming. And the next time the ground shakes, it may not stop with a rumble. It could be a rupture. So the question isn't just can it happen here? It's, are we ready when it does?